How would you describe Jeff as a young child? Was he happy? Was he outgoing as a 2, 3, 4-year-old?
He was quite outgoing up until maybe age 3, 3.5, 4, somewhere in there. He developed a double hernia.
That was pretty traumatic for him physically, wasn't it?
I think, you know, if this whole thing is conjecture at this point. It might have been, along with other incidents in his lives, might have been one of the trigger points. I mean, you know, the old Freudian castration complex might come to bear here, and I guess psychoanalysts would really have a heyday with this, because, you know, he was concerned about losing his penis. He asked his mother if he had lost it, if it had been cut off. Now,
which is something he later did to his, or at least some of his victims.
That's true, yes.
One thing that many serial killers have in common is a history of sexual abuse. Was Jeff sexually abused at any time?
No, never.
Was not abused by anyone in the home?
No.
Sexually?
No.
Can you even begin to describe what it's been like for you as the parent of someone who has committed crimes of this nature?
Well, it's been eternal torment. In the privacy of my own room, see, people generally look at me as sort of not emotional, and I come off as maybe a little bit remote because of that.
Well, you were holding back your emotions just now.
But they don't realize that I have very deep feelings inside.
An armchair psychologist would argue that the fact that you are so unemotional about all of this only signifies the fact that inside there may be very powerful emotions.
That's right.
That the person who keeps things so tightly under control is the person who is really afraid of losing control of some very powerful feelings inside. True in your case?
That's probably true, yeah. I would say that's a fair statement.
Today, when you think about the obsessions that were consuming Jeff as a teenager, they aren't altogether unfamiliar, are they?
I think inferiority goes, you know, lack of control or feeling of no control over your environment or kids around you. I think inferiority sort of goes along with shyness. Jeff was shy, I was shy. Then comes the thought of control. You just don't have the control of your environment. And my early infatuation or obsession was with fire. Just about burned down my neighbor's garage one time. Just starting a little fire.
When you were a teenager, you had dreams of committing murder yourself.
Yeah, let me clarify that.
Please.
I was shy and, you know, felt lack of control and so forth, and I was bullied. Okay, there were a lot of bullies in our neighborhood. And almost always after I was either physically or in some other way harassed by bullies, I would wake up, say, the next morning or the morning after that, shortly after that, and I would for just say about 30 seconds or so, have this feeling that I had hurt someone, that I had maybe hurt them badly, that I had killed them. But it was a vague sort of a feeling, and it happened just every so often, and after attacks by neighborhood kids.
The question is, why does a father murder in his dreams and a son murder in real life?
Real life.
Yeah. In mentioning these things and writing about them in your book, you seem to believe that you may have passed on some kind of genetic propensity for obsession or destructive behavior, that might be one factor in this puzzle of why your son did what he did?
It's something to be considered, you know, in the broad spectrum of possibilities. The problem with just calling it genetic predisposition or genetic predestinarianism is that it's not really scientific. It's not true with respect to personality. But it's being investigated.
What led him to cross the line, to go over the edge?
I don't know, but I guess I would just conjecture that whatever it was, it probably goes back further to whatever got hooked into his sexuality. I do believe strongly that was, I mean, those hormones are the most powerful thing on earth almost. And I do believe that theory.
A sexual drive. It was the sexual drive that led him to murder and dismember.
That's my personal belief. And however it got bizarrely hooked into entrails is beyond me, but I believe that if it could be unearthed as to how that happened or what that derivation was, then we'd have the answer.
Coming up, the Dahmer's volatile marriage and its effects examined.
It was unnerving, depressing, made me angry sometimes.